Hello, 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 everybody. My name is Grey Eagle, a sim pilot. I'm a real world A320 captain, bringing my love for aviation and flight simulation to all your wonderful people out there. How are you all doing this evening for another Turn and Burn Tuesday? Glad to have you all with me this evening. Dummy Thick says, welcome. Dummy Thick Draco says, shoo, let's get it. Welcome to the chat. Big cheers to you there, Dummy Thick and Draco. Even though Dummy Thick said he is just popping by to say hello before you go to sleep. Another very early report for you, good sir. I'm so sorry for that. So sorry you gotta keep waking up super early in the morning. But that is quite all right. You're out there making the big bucks, so I don't have to. Really do appreciate that. Thank you for stopping in and saying hello to me there. Demi Thick is Draco says, "What up, great? How are you doing?" Big cheers to you this evening. We have a Ruby Field Strawberry Wheat Ale. That is what is on deck this evening. Matches the colors of this Delta A319 beautifully. At least the can matches the colors of this A319 beautifully. So that's what we're gonna be doing. We're gonna be going from the land of donuts to the land of outdoor clothes at Duluth. I guess they're really well known for their outdoor apparel, the Duluth Trading Company. So we will be doing a short hop on up the road here. Beautiful day in St. Paul, Minneapolis, the Twin Cities, however you want to call it, up in the, I guess you would call this the Upper Midwest. This would be like pretty far west for the Upper Midwest, but the Upper Midwest here. So we will hop on the flight deck and get things started for this Turn and Burn Tuesday. There we go. We'll start off with our first item of business. I had to come in here and clear a fault real quick because for some reason while I was just sitting here, one of the FCUs faulted. So that was very weird, but that is quite all right. So we'll go ahead and get GSX going here. 116 people planned. It's not going to take long for them to load this. Only 21 minutes. We'll do GSX boarding and refueling. We'll get that going. And while that's going, we'll go ahead and begin our flows. We'll get IR 1, 2, and 3 going right now. Coming right on down the left-hand side. Everything looks good. Terrain fault is A-OK. We'll go ahead and test the CVR. Absolutely beautiful. Oxygen panel looks clear. Calls panel looks good. And our wiper is off. Coming on up, we'll check engine fire 1. Sounds beautiful. APU. Excellent. Lastly, engine number 2. Alright, that all looks good. Hydraulics are all extinguished and the auto position. Fuel pumps are all off with the crossfeed and most selected in the auto position there. Our electrical panel all looks set. We'll go ahead and I'll turn these knobs down to little scroll wheels there. Excellent. Everything else on the air conditioning panel looks good. Anti-ice panel looks good with per window heat and auto. Pressurization panel looks good. Everything's on auto with the ditching hatch. Or second time I said ditching hatch. Ditching switch off and guarded. Our external lights are all set. Let's go ahead and get the APU started so we can get that going with its timer there. Signs look good. Emergency lights, we'll go ahead and arm those. We'll come on up to the overhead panel. The ACP need to be on PA to the 3 o'clock position. The RMP, we're going to be on VHF3 with data in the active window. That looks good. Everything else on the first officer side looks good. His window wipers are off there. Coming down to the main glare shield here from left to right, all of our switches should be extinguished. We want to put in the current altimeter. Let's go ahead and check our tableau to see what the current weather is here. ATIS will do real world. Looks like the altimeter is going to be 290907. So we'll go ahead and put 290907 in there once, twice, and thrice. There we go. We'll be on constraints, 10 nautical miles arc, and VRADF can be off for now. We on the center FCU here, we were looking for digits displayed on the windows, heading vertical speed. Heading vertical speed, and all the lights extinguished down here. On the first officer side, we're looking for the same thing, constraints, 10 nautical miles arc, and the VRADF can be off for now, with the flight directors on both sides. All of his push buttons are off. Coming down to the main instrument panel. On the left-hand side of the captain's display is the PFD, right-hand side is the ND. The ISIS is aligned, that checks good. Upper ECAM display is on top, lower ECAM display is on the bottom. Our brake fan is off. Landing gear is down through green with the noticeable steering armed or on. Date and time look about appropriate. Their landing gear is down with no red arrow. First officer side, the ND is on the left, PFD is on the right. We can adjust the brightness however we need to. Coming on down to the center pedestal here, we're checking the database that is current. I'll go ahead and go to the initialization page. That looks good. The RMP is currently set up. I got CTAF and the active with Unicom in the standby there, so that's good. ACP is set how I wanted, and our flood and integral lighting looks good. Radar is off with the predictive wind shear off as well. Coming on up to the center of the center pedestal here. We'll go ahead and recall any canceled messages. There are none, so we'll go ahead and clear that out. Thrust levers are idle, engine masters off, engine mode norm, speed brakes are disarmed or retracted. Flaps are up. We have some sort of digits here in the window. It always shows 0, even though, so this technically should be directly linked. Let me do it like this. This should be directly linked to this deflection. So that should be, whatever that deflection is, should show there. So that's not completely accurate, but it is what it is. The gravity gear extension is stowed. Coming up to the first officer's McDo here. Database looks good. We'll go over to the ATSU. We'll do the AOC menu. And received messages. Load sheet. That's the preliminary. We'll accept that. That looks good. SRMP and ACP are all set. And let's go ahead and put that in auto. All. That looks good. And lastly, we can check the brakes. Alright. Alternate braking system is checked. That looks good. And before we continue on, our fluids levels all look good here. Excellent. That all looks normal. All right. Let's get into programming the McDo, shall we? This evening we're going to be Delta Airlines 3318, DAL 3318. There we go. We're going to have a cost index of, if I can find it, 21. There you go. We'll be cruising along at an altitude of something's not that high, 19,000 feet if we even get up there. There we go. So minus 25. I'm not really concerned about the ISA deviation, but it is -2. So really -2. Okay, so we'll do 23. There we go. Current outside air temperature is 9 degrees. Not bad up there. Let's go over to page 2. We need a zero fuel weight of 116.4 and a zero fuel weight CG of 29.5. A block fuel of I scrolled way too far down there. Block fuel of 19.3. 19.3, that's what we have on. Excellent. 0 on the route reserve. Excellent. And our alternate time back here is 2.9. So there we go. Stick 2.9 in there. Flight plan, not much going on here. We'll depart off of 12 left. I think what we'll do, since there is no SID that we have filed, we'll just do the Minneapolis 9, which is pretty much our radar vectors here. We'll go to this little inset here. So 7 DME at or above 3,500. That's really the only thing. So we'll call this the, where is it at? Oh, I don't think it's programmed in here. All right, that's no problem. So what we'll do is we'll do MSP, and then we'll do a 7 mile ring. Nope. 7 mile ring. There we go. And then in Duluth, we will do the ILS to runway 9. There is no star. And Duluth, no, we won't do Duluth. We'll yeah, we'll do Novia. That way we get this CFB. What is that? CFB SJ. So there we go. We'll go ahead and insert that. Top of climb, top of descent, discon. You know what? We'll just clear that up so we can get pretty much vector straight there. So there's that fix CFB SJ. That's on the approach. And let's see, from, what's that? Pikla to the runway should be about 5 miles. Rounds up to 6 in the box, 3-degree glide slope. That looks good for the missed approach. Climb to 3,000 on a 320 heading to intercept to 017. Radial from Duluth out to Sherrill, and we'll hold there. Good. Climb up to 4,500 and hold. So there we go. That whole route looks good there. Pretty easy route, fairly direct to enter. Should be an incredibly short flight, so I'm glad that the route is very easy. Let's go ahead and winds. We'll uplink our winds. Excellent. And into the performance page here. See our passengers coming down the jetway there. We'll sync the preliminary load sheet at 2,137.4, 137.4, and we don't take credits for headwinds. There we go. We'll calculate that out. Excellent. Flaps 3. All right. We'll send that to the McDo. That looks good. We will do a 290 descent. Like it don't matter that much. There we go. Excellent. So the route has been verified. Let's go back up top. The IRs are aligned. The recorder ground control is on so that I can catch the checklist. Our EFIS is set for now. Let's go ahead and put 19,000 since we're there's no ETC online. We'll just go up to 19,000 since that's what the flight plan calls for. Excellent. We can turn on the terrain on ND. We need to verify that our parking brake is on and checked. Our ACP and RMP are set. Let's check the position, make sure it is correct. Here it is up here. We got 52.9. Sorry, 4452.9. So we got 4453.0. Close enough. And 093, 13.3, 093, 12.9. That's close enough for me. We have the ND, that looks good. On the PFD, we have V1, V2, climb and nav are blue, flight directors 1 and 2, and we can go ahead and check. Our oxygen is all set and ready to go. It seems like the passengers have finished doing their passenger things. Whoop. And we can ask our Ghost FO. Ghost FO, are you ready for a briefing? Yep, alrighty. What are your threats? Well, the biggest threats is going to be the short taxi out and the very short flight. I agree. We'll mitigate that threat by not allowing ATC to time pressure us. We'll push back here. We'll start both engines, and for time's sake, we'll run the before takeoff checklist all the way to the line before we call for taxi. When we do, plan on taxiing out. We'll probably go Charlie 5 or Charlie 6. I'm going to plan on Charlie 6. We'll cross 22 at Mike 6, and then we'll take Mike and Papa 10 down to the end. When we do get down there, plan on a flaps 2 flex. Standard reject or flaps 3 flex. Standard reject considerations. Any questions about what we reject for? Nope. Alrighty, excellent. Should we lose an engine after V1? We'll continue straight ahead to about 4,000 feet. We'll clean up the aircraft from the ECAM and making a return back around to 12 right, since that's the longest runway. Otherwise, we'll get radar vectors out to what's that first fix just north of the airport here? Even I don't know. GEP, whatever that is. I swear I looked it up, but I absolutely have no clue what the name of that is. It should be right here in the flight plan. Gopher. That's what it is. Alrighty. Radar vectors Gopher, and then on course. 19,000 feet to top altitude. I have CTAF in here. Unicom is in standby. And we're squawking. Auto ATC did give us a squawk code of 4516. So we'll put in 4516. There we go. We'll turn our mode C on there. Any questions? No questions. All right. Let's go ahead and finish up our checklist here. There we go. Excellent. Fuel. Onboard. Balanced. Pumps are on. That looks good. Hydraulics are all good. Pressurization. Got a slight bump there, but it's an auto with the landing elevation. Is Duluth really at 1,400 feet? Very concerned about that one. Is it? Again, literally just look right here. Duluth is at 1,400 feet. All right. Well, there we go. And our oil looks good there. All right. Before start checklist, bring this up because we're gonna need. I need my fuel. There we go. All right. Before start checklist. Recorder ground control is on. Flight forms and AML on board. Reviewed aircraft 333. Fuel quantity, a 19.3 required, 19.3 on board. Fuel takeoff performance. We have 133, 134, 137, Flex 63. Oxygen checked. Seatbelt sign is on. ECAM checked. Park brake is on and checked. MCDU set. Altimeters, we have 2997. Departure briefing is reviewed. The before start checklist is complete. With all that said, we can close that door. We'll see everybody when we get to Duluth. Excellent. We'll come in here. Last thing I need to do is I think I need to disconnect the ground power from here. Most states. Oh. Yeah, there we go. We'll disconnect the ground power, and we shall request a pushback from GSX. Continue pushback. Nose right. Alright, just wanted to make sure no one was in the alley, no one coming in. Sweet. Alrighty, we'll go ahead and release the parking brake. All engines are clear. We will start. The volume is up. Here we go. See if we can hear the PTO on this one. Lang says, hi, how are you doing, Lang? Oh, welcome, welcome, welcome. Glad you can join us again tonight, Lang. Big cheers to you. Welcome to another Turn Burn Tuesday. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Great to hear you're doing great. That'll be a long haul stream. I don't really have the, I'll turn the sim volume. We get 2 good engine starts, so I get the sim volumes back down there for you. I don't really have like the subscriber count to do a long haul like that. However, if I did do something like that in like the A350, I would definitely make it a like a video upload versus a live stream. Oh, that's not what I wanted. That's what I want. Let's see. Of course, she's got to hide out behind the pillar. Hi, bye. There we go. Let her know that I see her there. I have a salute. Excellent. Waving the pin. She's gone. Whenever you're ready, flaps 3. After start checklist. Engine anti-ice we don't need. The status is checked. The rotor trim is 0. After start checklist is complete. Alrighty, like I said, we'll do everything right here. That way we give our engines plenty of time to warm up and we give the crew plenty of time to do their thing. So, flight control checked. Pull up. Pull down. Neutral. Full left. Full right. Neutral. Rudders. Full left. Full right. Neutral. I think I may have taken too much tension out of my rudder pedals. They kind of feel a little too easy right now, but we'll see. We'll see how I like it. Alrighty. Let's see. Want max. Let's go ahead and let's check our closeout here. Return load sheet. The final load sheet will accept 116.5. Alrighty. And 29.5%, so that looks good. Alrighty, no biggie there. And I will put this back on that page. Excellent. Did I get the predictive wind shear? Nope. And we can do a takeoff config. Wow, that cabin got ready super quick. Wow. Okay, before takeoff checklist. Flaps are 3 planned and 3 indicated. Takeoff data and speeds are checked. Weight is at 135.6. We're looking at 135.4. Stab trim 27.6%. We're looking at 27.6%. Flight controls checked. ECAM MO. Takeoff no blue. To the line. Alrighty. We are clear left and clear on the right. We'll go ahead and release the brake and get going. I'll bring the tablet up so we can I can show you where we're going here. Move you on over to the side. Bring the taxi the taxi diagram up here. Minneapolis traffic at Delta 3318. We'll be taxiing to runway 12 left via Charlie 6. We'll cross runway 22. Mike 6, Mike Papa 10. Minneapolis traffic. Alrighty. With that, let's go ahead and get going. Lang, is it British Airways that does that route in real life, Minneapolis to London? You know, what'd be really cool is if we did that route, like, sorry, not Minneapolis, New Orleans to London. Is if we did that, like, for Mardi Gras. We'll have to do that next year, like, bring people in for Fat Tuesday or something like that. Alrighty, so we'll make the slight right-hand turn onto Charlie 6 here. Beautiful. We'll go ahead and cross 22 here on Charlie 6. Minneapolis traffic, Delta 3318 crossing runway 22 at Charlie 6, taxiing Mike 6, Mike Papa 10 to runway 12 left, Minneapolis traffic. Alrighty, clear on the left. We are clear on the right. Let's go ahead and turn our lights. Nope. There's a reason why I use the scroll wheel whenever possible. Excellent. Flight attendants, prepare for takeoff. Alrighty. So I'll make a right-hand turn onto Mike, a left-hand turn onto Papa. And once we make the left-hand turn onto Papa, we can pretty much go below the line. We're pretty much there. Oops, I did it again. It is nice that I actually do taxi using the rudders. I do that in real life as well, because the rudders give you a much granular control. You don't get nearly as much nose wheel deflection with the rudders, so it makes the taxi just a little bit smoother when you taxi with just the nose wheel steering, or with the rudders. Now, for some reason with this, it's a little bit too aggressive when you taxi with the rudders. Like, if I kick the rudders back and forth here, like so. Okay. That's about what I would expect it. Alright. I'm okay with this. Alright, let's go below the line. Alright, we have runway. And if I'm asked, so I have runway 12 left in the box on the screen and out the window. That is checked. I'm going to take off fuel. 15.4 required. We got 19.0 on board. Flight attendants notified engine mode is a normal. TCAS is and TARA. The before takeoff checklist is complete. Final appears to be clear. The runway appears to be clear. Minneapolis traffic. Delta 3318. Departing runway 12 left. Will be departing the pattern to the north. Minneapolis traffic. Alrighty, so that call has been made. We can go ahead and get all of our lights. And we'll go ahead and get rid of you. Excellent. lost a little momentum in that turn. All right, turn the sim volume up and enjoy the takeoff out of Minneapolis. I'll see you in the air. Ooh, Lang says, can you do Eagle? That will be a fun one. Alrighty. Yes, but I'm gonna wait for a certain update to come out. Here we go. Specifically the B7s on the A319 Sharklet. Wait for that and we'll do Eagle. Flex thrust set. Checked. V1, rotate. Positive rate, you're up. I'll get autopilot number 21 on. Sorry about that. We'll wait for us to get some sort of positive acceleration. There we go. Climb. Climb is sad. Let's get to the back for the flap retraction. Flaps 1. Let's do it from this side. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and swing that heading all around. We will go north. Minneapolis traffic. Delta 3318 departed the pattern to the north. Minneapolis traffic. Last call. Flaps up after takeoff checklist. Alright, bringing the sim volume down to a more reasonable level. Let's finish the after takeoff items here. There we go. Bring you out. Let's go ahead and proceed direct to Gopher, shall we? We are still within 7 miles of the airport. That is absolutely insane. Or 7 miles of the VOR, I should say. Still absolutely insane. Can't wait for the A319 with the B7 engines that have a little bit more thrust. But Lang, yeah, for sure. When we get the A319 Sharklet with the CFM 56-B7 engines, that's like definitely an airport on my list to do, because that airplane definitely has the performance to get into and out of Eagle. It's the closest thing we're gonna get in terms of 757 performance, but in a baby bus. So you know, it is what it is there already. It looks like we have accelerated through 10,000 feet. Excellent. And yep, go ahead and let them know we are out of sterile. Beautiful. I'm gonna double check one figure here. We want that to be at, let's see, is that an at or above? Yep, it's at or above 3300. Yep, we're good. That's the only thing I wanted to know for vertical profile planning. Let's see if there's downtown Minneapolis, somewhere down there. Oh, we left it in the dust. I think it's way back there. Oh, nope, it's right here. Okay, one of these is St. Paul and one of these is Minneapolis. I don't know which one, but it is what it is. I could just look here on the map. Oh, map really doesn't say which one's St. Paul and which one's Minneapolis. Okay, so that one says so. Alright, so that's St. Paul downtown. So that must be St. Paul. This must be Minneapolis. You got the Twin Cities. Almost like Dallas-Fort Worth. That's you got Dallas and you have Fort Worth, but Dallas-Fort Worth, the airport, is actually smack dab in the middle of the two of them. Literally two separate cities that are slowly growing together. Absolutely beautiful day to go flying. What a great day to do a turn and burn. Let's see, the current altimeter up in Duluth is going to be 29908, so we'll go ahead and set that and go transition standard once, twice, and thrice. We're 18 for 19. Go ahead and get that off, and we can go ahead and turn the fastest seatbelt sign off, so since I'm expecting it to be pretty smooth. Now that we've leveled off in cruise, we can ask our Ghost FO if he has any threats on their arrival. And of course he will say, no major threats other than it's a short flight. Excellent. Yeah, I agree with you. To mitigate that threat, we won't let ATC pressure us to do anything we don't want. We're not ready to do. We'll come in to Duluth. We'll do a visual approach. We'll back it up with the ILS to runway 9. Go ahead and put the ILSs there. Do full flaps, auto brakes low. If we need to go miss, plan on a soft go around. Tower sign heading in altitudes. If they tell us to do the bulbish miss, it's in the box. I've verified it. We did that on the ground. And when we do land, let me bring this up for you here. On this one. We'll roll it all the way, the terminal's all the way down here, so we'll roll it down to like, I don't know, Alpha 5. We could literally roll it down to the end and be right there at the terminal. It'll be a long taxi out though. Super long taxi out, but that's okay. So short taxi in, long taxi out. I'm okay with that. Questions? Nope, no questions. Excellent. Let's go ahead and we verify the route. IDLH, that sounds about right. Yeah, IDLH 110.3. That looks good. Prague, K, DLH 09. That looks good. Everything else there looks good. Performance approach page here. Let's see. The altimeter I said is 29908. The temperature is 0 degrees. Wow. And the winds are 120 at 6. So not bad. with a minimums of 1628. There we go. It's hard to think of something that's on the lake as being that high up above sea level. Let's go ahead. We'll pre-select. What did I say? 3300. So we'll pre-select 3300 in there. We'll wait a few more moments. We'll give it a few more moments before we begin our top of descent. But yeah, Lang, I absolutely cannot wait for the A319 Sharklets with the B7s to come out. Simply because that extra power. I mean, you can get into so many mountainous areas. Like I've done the United stuff from Denver into like Aspen and places like there. It's just, which is hard to get into on a regular 319, but or get out of in a regular 319. But since those have the extra little bump in the thrust, it gets you out of there nice and comfortably, and then you can go all the way up to 39,000 feet. So that airplane can literally do it all while carrying a full load of passengers and baggage. Still give it a little bit of time. We'll wait until about 20 nautical miles before we begin our descent. Get the replay tool up and going there. Excellent. For some reason didn't have that up and already ready. All right, we shall go ahead and initiate that descent. We'll go ahead and manage that up. Get the wing light back on, the fasten seatbelt sign back on. Check that we don't have any new status messages. That all looks good. We'll go ahead and, well, once we hit our transition altitude, we can do a descent checklist. Getting there. 40 more feet. There we go. Transition to 9er That's not what I wanted. Excellent. Descent checklist altimeters 29908. Auto brake low. Per for approach page is set. Arrival briefing is reviewed. No star visual approach. Backed up with ILS to runway 9. Status is checked. The descent checklist is complete. Let's see here. We're expected to be on profile. About 20 miles. We're in front of the final approach fix there, or the initial approach fix there. So everything is looking like we are on track thus far. For the stream, I was initially going to carry over that DMC 2 fault that we had from yesterday, but then the airplane started doing weird stuff, literally just sitting on the ground. So I had maintenance come out and fix everything while we're right before the stream started. It's always the Murphy stuff right before I'm ready to go. You get like the weirdest fault. So I decided no, we won't do that. I mean, it wasn't going to be anything. It's literally you just put the EAS, the DMC over to FO3 and you just fly like that. But the airplane wanted to give me way too much hassle, so I said, okay, that's okay. We'll just do a normal stream and then I'll save a different failure for a different stream. So there we go. Don't know. I might stream tomorrow night. I'm not too sure. I usually don't like streaming the day before or the night before I have to go back into work. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if that's gonna happen. More than likely not. This will probably be the last stream of the week until we get to next week. Then I have a few days off next week as well. So again, plan on like a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday stream probably. Yeah, maybe we'll hit a different country up. Not too sure. Alright, let's see. Still looking good. I'm gonna bring this range back down. I like to always have the range where I can see at least one fix in front of me, if not more. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and bring them back into sterile. Flight attendants, prepare for landing. There we go. That's official, so they can prepare for landing. Is a water and juice service only. No coffee, no teas. Just a water and juice. Pick one or the other. You get the sugar, you get water. Because nobody got time to be taking requests for your Virgin Bloody Mary. Alright, descent profile is slowly coming back in. We should be slowing up to 250 knots right just about now. So that's good. Fenix likes to be right on the edge with this 250 at 10. Like, I don't know many. There's not a lot of Airbuses that will actually fly that will cut it that close where you're like, is it gonna do it? You know? So. There we go. And we'll go open. And then I'm just gonna use a little speed brakes because we have a few things we gotta do. So I like barely popping the speed brakes just a little bit. Just to aid in the drag, but like not so much where the passengers are gonna be uncomfortable from the buffeting. Bring that range on down. We can pause the flight entertainment there. We are below 10, so we can get all of these lights on here. And I didn't even check to see if Duluth has a C-type. Probably. They probably do. Let's see. They do. 18.3. Let's go ahead and we'll tune that up. Can't wait for them to implement trims. 18.3. There we go. Duluth traffic, Delta 3318 and A319 is on a 20-mile right base for runway 9. Duluth traffic. Any traffic in the pattern, please advise. All right. So there we go. I'll bring some more speed brakes out because somehow we are now above profile, which is quite all right. So we're at a quarter speed brakes. Should be plenty of speed brake for what we need. And this is what a quarter speed brake looks from the back. There we go. All right, a little bit of turbulence going on up here. Not too bad though. Ooh, did not mean to do that. That was weird. I mistakenly bumped up my thrust lever versus the speed brake. That's why someone thought about that. So with the TCA, I got the TCA captain's pack. So the speed brake lever is right here. My flap handle is over here. There's a reason why that stuff is down here and not up there, because they don't want you mistakenly grabbing one of these and pulling it back or shoving it forward. So there's a reason for that. All right. Everything is looking good. I'm going to begin slowing it on up. We'll do 210 knots for now. Go ahead and arm the approach. Locust capturing. I might just do this then. Flaps 1, speed verified. Kind of hit that corner going fast. Ooh, let me get the replay started, shall I? Replay 1, yes, yes. There we go. You're down. Almost forgot the replay there, chat. There we go. So the replay is going. Sounds are up. Glide slope capture, flaps 2, speed verified. Set the missed approach altitude. It's going to be 4,500 feet. That is set. Alright, we're via Fenix minus 10, flaps 3, speed verified. And lastly, via Fenix minus 10, flaps full, speed verified. Before landing checklist. I don't know why the flight attendants are still up. It is what it is. Altimeters, we have 299.8. Engine mode is norm. Landing gear down. 3 green. ECAM memo. Landing no blue before landing checklist is complete. Label. Vassies are in sight. Gonna go ahead and turn the autopilot off at this time. Label target scene 5.
Above. Minimum. 100.
Light slow.
40. 30. 20. Retard. 5.
Void. Manual braking, auto brakes off. 80. Alrighty. So we'll be able to turn off probably the, I guess that was Alpha 3. We'll take the next right hand turn. I think that'll be Alpha 4. Excellent. Welcome to Duluth, Minnesota. Ladies and gentlemen, I go ahead and bring the sim volume down to a much more reasonable level. That should be a little bit more reasonable for you there. Excellent. We'll go ahead and get the APU going so that we can make our time on that, as well as our cooldown time. Excellent. Once we make the turn here onto Alpha, well, I'll go ahead and do flaps up and do our after landing below. Alrighty. Flaps up. Here we go. Did I switch that all the way over? Now I did. Sweet deal. There we go. We do have some company messages. I'll go ahead and just clear those out. That's probably the ADC required message here. Received Delta Ops. Yeah. Alright. So, or we'll go back to data and aircraft status. There we go. And we'll go ahead and cross runway. What is this? 21 here on Alpha. And we'll taxi right on into gate 2. In fact, now that I'm thinking about that, let me go ahead and bring this up. We have gates 4 suitable. Gate 2 looks good. No. There we go. And Delta. Sweet deal. Alright. Coming up on the ramp here. See all the people in their positions. Hard for me to see gate 2. You know, I thought GSX got rid of the default stuff to put in its own. Like the default pushback thing. Really? I'm off that much? Clearly my center line is off that much. Alright. There we go. Slowly bring it back around. Looking good about right there. Alright. Wow. The jet bridge is already going. I'm not even here yet. Right on. Cool. GSX. I have no clue what's going on here, but it is what it is. I guess GSX is getting overly excited. I don't know. Super weird. So we'll turn off engine 1, we'll turn off engine 2, get our fuel pumps going, turned off there, and we'll turn the beacon light off as well. Yeah, you can do board. Excellent. So, and then last thing we'll do is we will do a final fluid check. Looks good. Hydraulics look good. No class 2 status messages, and our oxygen all looks good. Excellent. Let's do a shutdown checklist, shall we? Park brake is on and checked. Engine masters are off. Engine mode is norm. Speed brake disarm. Radar's off. Windshield PWS is off. Our fuel pumps are off. Slides forward disarm. APU is on. Shutdown checklist is complete. Let's go ahead and get the bleeder for the APU going. Excellent. Look at there. Excellent. I'll leave that to be, or I'll leave that be. I guess I'll know they're done deplating when we see no more people walking up the jet bridge there. All right. Let's go ahead. I'm gonna put back on the little in-flight entertainment music there, and we shall stop the replay. Not a bad landing into Duluth. We'll definitely try to check that one back out. Let's go ahead and we'll disconnect from the network while we refile here. Going to be Delta Airlines 3318. We'll be departing from Duluth back to Minneapolis. What I need is the fuel. How much we have in the tank? 16.0. Sweet. 19 CFMs. No alternate. That's 16 in the tank. We'll generate that flight. Again, 33 minutes of block time. I forgot to put in the actual tail number here. I'm like not having it in there. There we go. We'll generate that flight. How about that? So 33 minutes of flying time, 20,000 feet. Pretty much direct Bainey 3 arrival into Minneapolis there. Let's go ahead and refile that. Excellent. Should arrive with plenty enough fuel. Let's go ahead and log back onto the network. Let's see. Flights will unload and reload this. Fourth flight from Simbrief. Got the auto ATC again. 4255 is going to be the squawk this time. Excellent. So we got the Bainey 3 arrival. It's direct to Bainey 3. So pretty straightforward. With the exception of... Okay, 12 left expected. Are never RMP. That's super odd. So that's kayak, I think is how you say that. KQ. Alright, so you guys can see what I'm looking at here. Flights, unload. Import some brief here. There we go. So what I'm looking at here is on the Bainey arrival. Oh, what's this note up here? 280. Okay. So we're gonna end up at KQ or KAC, something like that. 12 left. Let's see. Look at there. So we'll do that transition. ILS from kayak. Alright, or KQ. Sweet. That'll make that simple enough. Back to flights. We'll do that. Go back here. Home and then view again. Seems like we may be... Nope, there's still people coming off. I thought we'd be done. Alrighty. No problem there. Alrighty, that is all brought in. Alright, they're all done with the bags outside. What I like to do while we're still deplaning is get ahead of the curve, so don't get to do an origination check, but IR should be aligned. And the recorder ground control is on. One thing I never do, because you almost never see it, but one thing really I should be doing on these turn and burns is check in here where we go data and position monitor. You're looking for drift on the IR's 0.1. That's really good. So that's really what we're kind of looking at there. We'll go ahead and go back up to the overhead. That looks all good there. EFIS is set. We do have terrain on ND. Parking brake is on and checked. That looks good. ACP and RMP are set, and then we can't get through this part because I don't have anything in the make do yet, but I like to get that part done real quick, and we'll go ahead and open the door, watch the rest of our passengers deplane. We can however do 4255, so we'll go ahead and clear that out. 4255. Mass and balance, yeah, not that many passengers left. So we'll go to innet, go over to our company pages here at SOUP. AOC, received messages, arrival message, we'll go ahead and return. Excellent. So now all we're doing is waiting on our final passengers to deplane. Duluth was super excited to see us, so much so that they opened the door before we even got a chance to park the airplane, so that was super weird. Or it could be that I may have messed up the spot. I was in GSX earlier today, messing around, tweaking the parking position and stuff like that. So I wonder if that has anything to do with it. Who knows? The parking position is exactly where I wanted it to be, and all the equipment is where I wanted it to be, but I have no clue why the jet bridge was like so eager to come and attach to the airplane. I have no clue. At any rate, we'll go back inside. 20 more people. I wonder if I hit the init request, if it would uplink the new flight. Duluth to Minneapolis. Yes, it did. Sweet deal. So we're going to be DAL 3318. The cost index is going to be 27. Cruising at 20,000 feet this time, 200, with a ISO deviation of 0. The current ground temperature here in Duluth is going to be, I think it was 0, correct? 0. Yep, so 0 degrees. 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 0 degre Zero fuel weight and zero fuel weight CG. We'll call that 121.7. So 121.7. We'll leave the CG empty for now. We're looking at 16,000 pounds of fuel. Zero out the route reserve. And there is no alternate. We will go Duluth off of runway 9. No SID. Excuse me. Minneapolis, so we will do the ILS to runway 12 on the Bainey 3. We'll just go ahead. Oh, well, the Vias, I'll do Keku. There we go. Let's go ahead and look through that. Yep. So it starts there at Bainey. No, don't want to deplane the crew. However, let's go ahead and let me look at this real quick. We'll re-import. Import the next flight. Yeah, I know. Reload SimBrief. SimBrief okay, excellent. We'll load the aircraft. Real time, there we go. So we'll let them do their thing there. 141 going back out with one person boarded. Even though I see 0 people walking down the jet bridge, it is what it is. Oh, you know why? Did I hit? Okay. Reset. I don't like that. Alright. Re-import. Yeah. Mass imbalance. Load aircraft. There we go. That's what I wanted to do. Oh well. What was the point of having the fuel already boarded if it's going to take forever doing that stuff? Alright. So, there's that. Whatever. It is what it is. I saw the real time. I should stop looking at the real time and just get in the habit of doing that. Alrighty. So I figured when I was like, hey, why aren't they trying to hook up the tug? I don't see any passengers coming down a jet bridge. It is what it is. Alright. So we'll just be ahead of the game. We'll leave that as is. Actually, let's go ahead and come over here. Let's go back down here and we can review the star and the approach. So we want the star. Let's hide this. So star says descend via 280 knots. So we really wanted to, we can go over here, put in 280 knots. Alrighty, and we can come up here, go to plan mode. Alrighty, so we're essentially gonna give our sales vectors to Bainey. Bainey's gonna be between 19 and 15 and 280 knots, and then we'll go to Lucy at or above 11,000 feet. Then Salger, and then Oglove, something like that, at or above 8,000 feet. And then lastly, we have KQ, 7,210 knots. Then from there, we'll transition over to the ILS. Which that's going to be Hamel. Oh no, we're going to be shut at or about 5,000 feet is what it should be. There we go. Then Hamel at or about 4,000 feet. Then Washi is going to be at above 3,000 feet. That looks good. And from Washi to the runway, we're looking at about 6 miles, 7 miles rounded up, 3-degree glide slope. For the missed approach, climb to 1,300. Then a climbing left-hand turn 3,000 outbound on the 096 from Minneapolis to Canak. There we go. Then we'll hold there. So our whole route has been verified. Let's go get some performance data, shall we? So we'll sync the preliminary load sheet. Oops. 139.3. 139.3. There we go. And we don't take credit for headwinds. And we'll calculate that out. Flaps 1, and we'll flex. We'll send that to the MCDEU. That all looks good there. All of our pages are set. We can go ahead and get some wins. There we go. And while we're at it, now that everything is all loaded up, we can finish that little tidbit of flow that we had before. So we stopped kind of right here. ACP RMP is set. Let's go data position monitor. We'll come back here, and we're looking for where is it? Oh, it's over there. It's got to be like that, huh? We're looking for 4650.5, 4650.3, good enough. 092, 11.6, 092, 10.8, good enough for me. Wind data uplink, that's good. The ND overall looks good. Let's go ahead and get our flight directors on. We'll set 20 as our top altitude. Alright, so now we have V1, V2, climate nav are blue, flight directors 1 and 2. We don't need to check the oxygen all over again. So that all looks good. Really, all we're doing is we're just waiting on the passengers to load up. We have our fuel. So literally just waiting on some passengers to board up, and we shall be out of here. About 100 more passengers to go. And now I will leave you with a little bit of some boarding activities there. Looks like the fueler is just now disconnecting the hose. There we go. We can see passengers come down the jet bridge like so. Excellent. Wish these assets you could just make them disappear, because like we have these guys ready to go do their job or whatever. Oh, that is what it is. Alrighty, I will be right back. Ooh, one last thing I forgot to do is, here we go. Switch our fly live from Duluth back to Minneapolis. Excellent. I will be right back. Time to refresh my beverage. I'll leave you with a little bit of boarding music and a little bit of boarding eye candy, and I will see you here in just another minute or two. Alright, here we go. Drink is refreshed. Only thing we have left to do, really, is to brief it. Let's go ahead and clear these load sheets out. Oh, now that we do have the load sheet, I can do, we're 29.2, so let's go back to init. B and slash 29.2. There we go. Looks good. So we can go over to our Ghost FO here. Say any threats? Biggest threat is the short flight. Yep, I would agree with that. We'll mitigate that threat by not letting NTC put us in a situation we're not ready for, and being fully briefed and ready for the quick arrival and approach into Minneapolis. We are at the end of the runway here, so we have to taxi all the way down to the other end. Let me rotate that around the correct way. 9, so we'll just take Alpha Cross 21 all the way down to the end at Alpha 1. Plan a Flaps 1 flex. Standard reject considerations. Any questions about what we reject for? Nope. Alrighty. In the event of an engine failure after V1, we'll continue straight ahead to about 4,000 feet. We'll clean up the aircraft over the lake there and run the ECAM and plan to make an emergency return to 9, since it has 10,591 feet of runway for us. Otherwise, we'll continue out to flight level 200. We have CTAF in active, Unicom in the standby, and we're squawking 4255. I think that was the latest from Auto ATC, right? 4255. Yep, that looks good. Just anything that you would like to add? Nope. Alrighty. Well, if that's the case, our fuel is on board, so we can go ahead and turn the fuel pumps on. We'll get the fast seatbelt sign going. Check our fuel. 15.9. On board. Balanced. And the fuel pumps are on. Hydraulics look good. Pressurization is auto with a lighting elevation. And the engine oil looks good. Alright. We can actually run it before start checklist. Alright, before start checklist, recorder ground control is on. Flight forms and maintenance log on board reviewed aircraft 333. Fuel quantity 16.0 required, 16.0 on board, or 15.9 on board. Takeoff performance excellent. We have 145, 145, 149 with a flex of 66. Oxygen is checked. Seatbelt sign is on. ECAM checked. Our parking brake is on and checked. The MCDU is set. Altimeters is 29908. Departure briefings review. The before start checklist is complete. Let's see. 141. We have 141 people on board. Oh, I didn't. What is going on? 18.3. What is going? Okay. It seems like we're all done boarding. Are we still loading bags? They're still loading bags, it says? Oh. There we go. They are all ready to go. Sweet. Yeah, with that said, let's go ahead and pause our in-flight entertainment there. Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And looks like all the doors are closed. I don't know why that just jumped. We'll turn on the beacon light. We are looking for 1, 2, 3, 4. We are not in icing conditions. I hate that so much. All right. Excellent. Door is closed. ACP and RMP are set. We got 4 closed. We have PANTS and a company message here. Probably the final closeout. Excellent. We'll accept that. And our beacon light is on. We're all hooked up, ready to go. Let's continue our pushback. Continue pushback. Nice warning. Do you request de-icing treatment? No. We'll do nose right. Okay, GSX. Overly zealous GSX here. Just because it's cold doesn't mean it's icing. That's very interesting. That specifically, like, Gate 2 has people, tugs, and all that stuff here. None of the other gates have it, but Gate 2 has it. Very interesting. Super straightforward pushback. There we go, the brakes are set. If there's anything GSX could work on, it's being a little bit more expedient when it comes to connecting and disconnecting the tug, but that's quite alright. We'll start engine 1. Right into the engine. Thank you, tow truck. See the pin. There we go. Let's go back for the second engine start here. Alright, sounds like 2 good engine starts. So I have a salute, so let's go flaps 1. After start checklist, engine anti-ice we don't need, status is checked, and the rotor trim is 0. The after start checklist is complete. You're ready, let's go ahead and we can go clear left and clear right. Get our taxi light going. Really don't hear anyone out on the frequency. Perfect. I don't expect a lot of people to be in Duluth, Minnesota at this time. Get a nice little taxi clip going here since we do have to taxi all the way down to the other end. Clear left, clear right, we're cleared across. Alrighty, flight control checks. Full up, full down, neutral, full left, full right, neutral, rudders, full left, full right, neutral. Let's go ahead, return. Did I get that? That should be, yeah, okay, that is the final load sheet. Alrighty, so let's see what the final load sheet says here. 121.7, 121.7, and 29.2, spot on. Alrighty. So, we can go ahead and seat the flight attendant. Does this just end? No, it zigs and it zags. Okay. Flight attendants, prepare for takeoff. Before takeoff checklist of flaps, we have one planned and one indicated. Takeoff data and speeds are checked. Weight 137.6. I did not realize I put that back on that. I thought I left it on this page. Received messages. 137.2. Stab trim 27.6% and 27.6%. Let me take the zig and zag real quick. Flight controls checked. ECAP memo is takeoff. No blue. We are to the line. Once I straighten out here, we'll go below the line. Little Cirrus center right here. Kind of cool. All right. Let's see. Let's bring up the tablet again, so that we can go below the line. Runway and FMS, we have runway. Let's put performance, no, flight plan, nope, other way around. There we go. Got runway 09 and the box on the screen and out the window. That is checked. Minimum takeoff fuel 6.4 required. We have 15.7 on board. Flight attendants notified. Engine mode is norm. TCAS is TARA. Before takeoff checklist is complete. Excellent, excellent, excellent. But an insanely long taxi, but we're pretty much almost there, so. On all actuality, with an airplane this light, you wouldn't have to keep the throttles up to accelerate. It would just start accelerating on its own, especially at like 319. Duluth traffic. Delta 3318 is departing runway 9. Will be departing the pattern to the south. Duluth traffic. Alrighty. No one's in the area. Final is clear. Runway is clear. Let's let them know we're taking the runway. Excellent. Sounds are still up. Excellent. We'll take it on the roll. %. Flex thrust set. 80 eject. One rotate. Positive rate, gear up. Autopilot 1 can go on. Let's get that beautiful flyby. Climb is that? Duluth traffic. Delta 3318 departing. The pattern to the south. Duluth traffic. Final call. Once we clean it up, we'll begin our turn all the way back around to Baney. There's our S-speed. Go ahead and disarm that. After takeoff checklist, landing gear is up, the flaps are up, the pressurization is checked. After takeoff checklist is complete. Let's see what direct to Baney looks like at this time. Yep, that looks good. We'll go ahead and activate that. I'll bring this in volume back down to a more appropriate level. There we go. Should be about good right there. Absolutely beautiful departure over Lake Superior. We're through all the things, so we'll go ahead and ding them. We are out of sterile there. Excellent. I'll bring the range back out. We've reviewed the arrival, so there's no issues there. We'll head straight up to flight level 200. A few more clouds in the area than there was before. We're at +6. Go ahead and get the engine anti-ice going as we climb up through this little layer right here. Well, I will get the in-flight entertainment going back again. There we go. Not quite above the layer. I leave the anti-ice on for a little bit longer. Nice little stiff crosswind here. I didn't notice that on the flight up. I guess the flight up is so short, you'd care less if it was how stiff the headwind or the tailwind is. I'll still leave it on a little bit longer. I'll probably turn it off once we get to cruise, to be honest. Oh, what I need to do is put us back onto Unicom. There we go. And let us see. Ooh, Minneapolis Tower is online. They have information ATIS. Information Alpha. It has ATIS twice in there. Let's see. The current altimeter they're showing 299er. So 299er set once, twice, and thrice, and we can go standard once, twice, and thrice. There we go. We're 19 for 20. Looking at the ATIS here, we review the route. IPJL. Let's see. IPJL is the identifier. 30-degree glide slope 122. That looks good. KMSP-12L. There we go. And they're showing 299er. We already said that. The temperature 70 degrees with a wind of 140 at 5, so not bad at all. The minimums are going to be 1041. And we'll use auto brakes. 8,200 feet. Yeah, we'll go auto brakes slow again. We're pretty light. Not too worried about that. Level off here and cruise. I think we're above the layer, so we can go ahead and turn those off and that off as well. Excellent. So we're cruising along here for just a tad bit before we have to start our descent down into the Minneapolis area. They do have the tower frequency is 126. 126.7. That's what it is. So we'll go ahead and pre-select that, and here 126. Thank you, son, for being in my face. 126.7. All right, there we go. All of that is set up, ready to go. We can also brief the first officer for the arrival. Since everything's been reviewed pretty much on the ground, do you have any threats? Nope, we're pretty much covered all the threats on the ground. Yeah, no big threats here other than what we already briefed on the ground. We'll come in on the arrival. We both reviewed it and verified it. Our initial crossing restriction is Bainey at between 15 and 19,000 feet, 280 knots. The bottom side is going to be AQ at 7,210 knots. We'll plan on doing a visual. We'll back it up with the ILS to runway 12 left. It's going to be chart 11-2, dated 30 December 16. We use full flaps, auto brakes low. If we need to go miss, plan on doing a soft go around with the tower sign heading in altitude for miss approach instructions unless we get told to do the miss, which is in the box and has been verified. When we do land, plan on a right-hand turnoff on Papa 4 or 3. We'll take probably Papa or Quebec all the way back around to Foxtrot 7, which is where we started. So we'll end it where we started. Hopefully GSX doesn't go crazy like they did before. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Yeah, I don't know why this does that sometimes. Anyone knows why it does that? I'd be more than happy to know. But yeah, where we started is like right here in the alleyway. So we'll take Papa and Delta, or Papa, Quebec, and Delta all the way back around. So there we go. Questions? Nope, no further questions. Alrighty. So, yeah, we're about 30-something miles away from our top of descent. Everything is looking good. Cruising along, barely cruising along at the top of the clouds here. It was a beautiful, clear day earlier. Got a little cloud action going on now. Where do these come from? I have no clue. Gotta love Microsoft weather. No, I don't trust it. So what we'll do, we'll go back in. And I'll just, I think we're like really right just in that layer. So we'll turn the engine anti-ice on. You could do a much better job of blending. You can literally see where one tile ends and then another tile begins. That's alright. We won't look at that. We'll look at the pretty side. There we go. Alright, will it at least show... Okay, there's that. Let's see if I bring it back up again. Nope. That's okay. I'm usually around 20 miles from top of descent, which is where we are now. I like to start going down, so let's hard tune. Actually, since everything's linked up, and hard tune 3000, and we'll manage it all. There we go. Manage descent. Down goes the nose. No, that's not the pretty side. There we go. That's the pretty side. Oh, that should be it for those clouds. So we go ahead and get the engine anti-ice off at this time. That looks good. We will be descending here through 18,000 feet momentarily. Go ahead and get the exterior lights on, seatbelt sign back on. We shall check the status. I'll put you on the perf page and you on the flight plan page. There we go. Transition and 299er, and we can do a descent checklist. So altimeters, we have 299er. Auto brake is low. Perf approach page is set. Arrival briefing is reviewed. Bainey through arrival. Visual approach backed up with ILS to runway 12 left. Status is checked. The descent checklist is complete. There we go. It looks like we have someone else getting ready to come in over Bainey. I may preemptively slow it up. I'm not too sure. Because we are currently about 5 miles apart, if I'm judging my distances right. We'll see where he is when we get to Bainey. Because he's definitely coming in on the T-tail side of the arrival. So it looks like he's coming in from T-tail on the Bainey. And we have about 5 miles, so I might slow it up just a little bit for him. Got to keep him just outside of that 5 mile arc there, which should be fine. And actually, we are looking real good. I hope this airplane levels off at 15,000 now. We'll see. Or is it expecting to cross Bainey? That is not correct. You're not going to cross it at 17,400. So the VNAV path still needs some fine tuning in the Fenix, especially in 2024. 2020, it tends to get it more correct than in 2024. So it is what it is. Just got to monitor it a little bit more. So yeah, we're right exactly at 5 miles separation there. Alrighty, so we got Lucy, Sugar, Oglove, and KQ. We still got a decent amount on this arrival. Let me see if I can find who this is. Delta 621 from Calgary. They're an A350-900. So I may give them a little bit more room. Go ahead and select that speed. Bring it back down to 270 knots. Delta 621, you up on Unicom?
Yeah, Delta 621, we're here.
What runway you're planning? This is Delta 3318. I'm right behind you, about 5 miles.
We're looking at 12 right.
Excellent. We'll be going to 12 left. Thank you very much.
Not a problem. Happy landing.
No floaties.
No problem.
Excellent. So they're going to be going to 12 right. We'll be going to 12 left. And so I'm not too concerned about separation at this time, although I am slowing it up because of obvious reasons. In fact, let me go ahead. I think he just slowed it up to 250 knots. So let's go ahead and do the same so we can maintain our separation here. So we got 7,000 at KQ is at 7,000, so we go ahead and do that. We can prepare the flight attendants for landing. Flight attendants, prepare for landing. And let's go ahead and stop our in-flight entertainment there. Excellent. He has disappeared off the radar. Oglove is at or above 8, then we got KQ is at 7, so let's go ahead and bring the speed brakes in now. I do have control of the speed, so we can go ahead and activate the approach phase. So there we go. Muy bien. Max Reason says, howdy. How are you doing, Max Reason? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Big cheers to you. If you missed it earlier, I have a strawberry wheat ale that we're sipping on tonight, so glad you are able to make it. I'm going to just go ahead and get all of our lights going at this time. That way I don't have to worry about it. And then lastly, we got to get the replay going. So let's go ahead and begin a recording. Replay number 2. We'll save that. Yes, sir. All right. There we go. And there he is. He's popped up back up. We've gained a little bit of speed on him, but that's quite all right. Or a little bit of distance on that A350 right in front of us, but that's quite all right. He's going to 12 left. We'll be going to 12 right. I'll contact the tower over KQ to let him know we'll be doing the KQ transition for the ILS to runway 12 left. Nice. Yeah. So this is the last one on the fridge, so that's a sad face, but this one is it's a pretty good one. I was in Panama City, and one of the places I went to, it was like some sort of chain, and they had like a strawberry rhubarb beer. Why did we suddenly speed up? What is going on? The airplane. All right. I will take you back over. Like, what are you doing, airplane? There's no reason for you to be diving for speed like that when you're on profile.
Minneapolis traffic, Delta 6.1, 20 miles north of the field, descending through 7,000, inbound, runway 12 right.
Minneapolis traffic, Delta 3318 is about 2 miles from KQ. We'll be doing the KQ transition for the ILS runway 12 left. Minneapolis traffic. I'll probably switch over to tower here over KQ for Delta 3318.
Tower's offline.
Oh, they just were online. Okay, never mind. All right. Let's see. We'll go flaps 1 speed verified. Excellent. We can go down to 5,000 now. I think a lot of this may have to do with that A350's wake that we may be feeling. Fortunately, I think we're pretty much getting out of it, so shouldn't be too bad there. So we have Shut and then Hamel. All right, 4,000 to Hamel. We're now 2.5. We are close. I'm gonna go ahead and slow it up to 170 now. I don't know what speed he has it slowed up to, but we go flaps 2 speed verified. Flaps 2 and 170. That's a good situation to be in. I'll go ahead and arm the approach. We got Cat 3 single. No, the airport. Yep, there's the airport is in sight. We'll go ahead and switch over to Unicom 126.7.
Minneapolis traffic, Delta 621, turning 10 mile final, runway 13 right.
There is. He definitely looks like he is lined up for 1-2 right. We're 5 for 4. I don't know why I have this up here still. We'll go ahead and get rid of that. And we'll go ahead and get rid of this company message too. So I don't have a bunch of company messages just sitting in the system. Delta Ops, that looks good. We'll return and put you back on flight plan. Excellent. Really? Not going to capture that localizer. Low capture, glide slope capture. We could set the missed approach altitude. That's going to be 3,000 feet. That is set. Minneapolis traffic, Delta 3318 at 10 mile final, runway 12 left, Minneapolis traffic. There we go. We got some staggered spacing between us and the guy landing on the parallel.
21 5-mile final, 12 right.
That kind of slowed it up. If we were going to the same runway, I would have had to slow it up a lot sooner.
2,500.
I just figured since he was an A350, you know, that he'd be going significantly faster than I. All right, we'll go ahead and manage our speed and drop the gear. Armor speed brakes. Flaps 3, speed verified. Minneapolis traffic, Delta 3318, 5 mile final, 12 left, Minneapolis traffic. Flaps full, speed verified before landing checklist, altimeters. We have 299er and 2540. Engine mode is norm. Landing gear down and 3 green ECAM memo, landing no blue. Before landing checklist is complete. Excellent. I can't see the A350 out there. Let's see if I zoom in enough. He should be on short final. There he is. There's the A350. How you doing, bud? Let's watch this landing from afar, shall we? Nothing like getting heavyweight turbulence blown directly into your nose. I know, right? Fortunately, the winds are mostly down the runway, but I feel like we did cross into his wake on the arrival. Very nice. Alright. Our turn now. Didn't get the 1,000-foot auto call out. Did anyone hear the 1,000-foot auto call out? I did not hear that. Anyway, sounds are up. See you on the ground. Autopilot's off.
Hundred above. Minimum. $100. 50, 40, 30, 20, retard, 10, 5,
Deployed. $60 manual braking. Auto brakes are off. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Minneapolis uptake. Jeez Louise, I have got to tune these pedals. I feel like I'm stomping on the floor just to get this airplane to slow down. Welcome to Minneapolis. I don't know what's going on with the paint here. Minneapolis traffic, Delta 3318 is clear of runway 12 left on Papa 3. We'll be taxiing to the ramp via Papa Delta. Minneapolis traffic, last call. Alrighty, so we'll take Papa, we'll take it all the way down and back around. Max Racing said, a nice job. Thank you very much. A little bit better than the one, the landing we had in Duluth, that's for sure. So let's go ahead and go flaps up, shall we? Alright, all of that is set. We got our after landing flow all done. I will take that. That was the good touchdown. Within the touchdown zone, I'll take that. It really does help when you have markers on the runway to tell you how far down the runway you are too. Not only how far down the runway, but it's also like a visual indication of how high you are as well. So, but like I said, I've pretty much come to learn to wear the Fenix in a wait until you're in ground effect and then pull the engine power out, because if not, then the airplane will just sink like a rock, and no matter how much side stick you just throw back, it refuses to bring in a flare. So that's kind of been my technique. Not how I do it in the real Airbus, but I mean, it is how I do a 320. I will land a 320 pretty much where you wait for the engine to begin their spool up, you bring it back to idle and just hold the pitch attitude. You don't flare it, you don't try to force it on the ground, you just hold the pitch attitude until it is what it is. Alrighty, APU is up and on. There's the Delta A350 there. I think that guy, he must be at Delta or Foxtrot something or other. He's on the other side there. At any rate, we'll park at Foxtrot 7 because that's the one I have set up. F7. No. Delta. Sweet, we'll go ahead and turn that off since we're about to turn into the alleyway here. Yeah, there's not really a line that takes you into the alley, huh? I see our people out there. Just there's no line to take us there. That's okay. We'll make it up as we go. I guess we stay between the dash lines. Yeah, we'll stay between the dash lines. There's a faux line right there, so we'll pretty much head toward those. And Foxtrot 7, it already has the numbers above our little marshaller there. Alright, area is clear. I see my little marshaller guide me in. oddest marshalling I've ever seen. There we go. Parking brake is set. Engines are at idle, so that is good. We can get engine master 2 off. Engine master 1 is off. Go up to the overhead panel here. Get our fuel pumps off. Beacon light can come off. All right. Will she do a little curtsy? She says hello. All right. There we go. Alrighty. We will do one last fluid checks. Oil looks good. Hydraulics look good. No odd status messages, and we still have enough oxygen. Let's go ahead and check our company messages here. Nope, that's not how you check your company messages. There we go. Arrival message. Thank you very much. Of course, you can begin deplaning. Alrighty, so that is all done. Put you back in FMGC. I don't know why it does that. That's the page it always defaults to. Why it does that, I have no clue. But there we go. And we can do a shutdown checklist real quick. Parking brake is on and checked. Engine masters are off. Engine mode is norm. Speed brake disarm. Radar is off. Wind shear PWS is off. Our fuel pumps are all off. Slides 4 are disarmed. APU is on. Shutdown checklist is complete. We'll go ahead and get the APU bleed going there. And let's go outside. Can we see the passengers getting off? We should be able to see passengers getting off. Alright. Apparently we can't see passengers getting off. It is what it is. The door is open, right? Yeah, the door is open. Let's see. Can I see passengers here? No, I can't see any passengers. That's so weird. GSX, you're being weird. But it's deplaning the passengers at a like stupid quick rate, so that's good. There's our buddy in the A350 over here. How you doing, buddy? Clearly he's going to be deplaning for quite some time. Sweet deal. Go ahead and we can get the replay paused, or stop the replay from recording. There we go. Excellent. Watch them finish offloading some of the bags here. Got a lot of bags, it seems like, to offload. They had a lot of bags they put on. Like that was the last thing done, and it looks like it's going to be the last thing done here as well. No, I do have to say I've never seen ground personnel stack bags so nice and neatly and with such care in my life. I just don't think that happens. Like if these ground personnel were like mimicking real life, I would always check my bag because I always would know it's gonna be in good hands. But they don't treat your bags like that in real life. Such care given to these bags. Look at that. Look at that. Nope, we want to board the crew. So yeah, it does look like the bags will be the last thing to be getting off. They were the last to get on. It is what it is. Lots of bags. Lots of people checking their bags. Delta Airlines, free check bags. You heard it here first. Okay, I was gonna say, is our buddy still here? Nah. I was like, man, he's being very patient. Last bags are pretty much coming off now. We can go ahead and disconnect from the VATSIM network. Thank you very much for your service there, VATSIM. Sweet. Looks like they are all done. Once they're full the back. Okay, there we go. You gotta move the conveyor belt before you close the door. Oh my gosh, guys. Call maintenance out. We need a new cargo door. All right. Let's head back inside. And let's go ahead and do panel states. We'll do a ready state. We'll go ahead and activate that. That all sounds good. We'll wait for the gray to go away from our N2s here. And then we will activate or load our replay. You're gonna go away. There we go. Oh, it's not what I wanted. Why is this open? We can go ahead and get rid of you. Sweet. Alrighty, that's all buttoned up. Let's go ahead and load our first replay, our landing into Duluth. Go ahead and activate that. We'll go outside. Go outside. Yeah. Oh, that's not bad. We were pretty much on funnel when I started the replay. Oh, I almost forgot to start the replay. That's why. Yeah. Alrighty. So, go ahead. We'll close that because sound already bleeds pretty badly in the replays here. Not much to look at out here. Yeah, not much to look at. That's alright. We'll do this side and then we'll do the other side before we do our exterior view. Or I might just do, I don't know. We'll see. It's all trees. A lot of trees. Bunch of trees. Wonder if logging was a thing up here back in the day. Cyber, welcome. Big cheers to you. Thank you for joining Turn Up on Tuesday. Says love of the streams. Thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. Thank you for stopping in and saying hello in the chat. Big cheers to you. Having a sip of strawberry wheat ale. This one is for you, Cyber. Appreciate it. Okay, so that was a pretty firm one, but you know, you gotta take what you get sometimes. Let's go ahead and I said I switch it to the other side. There we go. Not much going on in Duluth. Not much to see scenery wise, other than just, you know, a lot of trees. Kind of planted it on. You kind of see the yellow markings red there. So those yellow markings are for the military. So usually you're not going to have it in the simulator. That'd be a nonsensical thing to have. But those large yellow dots denote where their resting wire is. So you'll have the yellow dots, and right in the middle will be a little ball, little. If you could, it's almost like a roller skate that holds that wire. So you have a roller skate there, wire, and it's just the center of each dot is like a little roller ball, and the wire goes through it all the way across to the other side, and it's usually anchored into the ground somewhere. And that's the arrestor wire. So should a fighter jet or any other jet that has a cable or a hook have an emergency and they need to stop, they can come and hook this wire right here, right there. And it's all controlled by the control tower. So the control tower can raise or lower it. I'm pretty sure the control tower can raise or lower it. I don't know if that's a military thing or not. All I know is if those cables are raised, there's other considerations you got to do. Like you can't land before the cables. You have to land after the cables, which changes your landing distance calculations. When you take off, you have to take off past the cables, which changes your takeoff calculations. So there's a bunch of things, because even though it's a cable, and trust me, I have taxied over these cables at 1 knot. Even at the slowest taxi speed you can possibly imagine, when you taxi over that cable, it will shudder the entire airplane. It does not matter how slow you go. That cable is beefy, to say the least. And rightfully so, right? It has to stop a fighter jet from screaming down the runway. So yeah, that's one of the reasons the airlines, they don't want you landing and then rolling over that cable at 130 knots, because you could do some serious damage to some tires and some struts and the airplane as a whole. So and they don't want you taxiing or taking off from down here and rolling over this at 80 knots or so, because like I said, even at 1 knot, when you taxi over that cable, the whole airplane can feel it. So imagine hitting that cable at 80 knots on takeoff. Not a good feeling. So that's why when these cables are up, you have a lot of restrictions. When they're down, you have the full runway length available to you. So that's a little knowledge there. This is the first time I've actually seen this in a simulator. I don't know if anywhere else I've gone has actually had the whole markings for the arrestor cables there. So anyway, let's continue replay here. Let's go back out and we'll take it to about there. Trying to make it interesting for you guys in terms of like the view. There we go. Not a bad view. Yeah. See how like I took the power out just a tad too early? Like I took the power out right about there, and I should have waited to about there to take the power out. And if I had done that, then I wouldn't have fallen right there onto the ground. It is what it is. That's why I say, like, it's just so hard to get the flare logic in this. The flare logic in this is just so hard. Let me go ahead and stop that for now. There we go. To figure out. So I cannot wait for them to come out with version 2, or not version 2, but the BFU that they have planned here, because I am definitely looking forward to a much improved flare logic. Alright, there we go. So I should be able to. There we go. Oops, may have gone too far. Hold on. Yeah, I may have rewound that back too far. That's alright. We'll let it play all the way through. I'll be quite alright with that. Beautiful. We'll rewind that back. Do that. We'll go back inside. Oops. Nope. That's not what I wanted. Alrighty. And let's go ahead and load situation number 2 here. And we can go ahead and activate that. And I'm going to get all the things. Oh, I just realized I had the volume all the way up. I will save your guys' ears. How about that? Excellent. All right. Bring you back up. And we can start playing from there. How about that? I'm not going to worry too much about the speed call out. And second landing in Minneapolis. Yesterday we came into Minneapolis. We landed 30 left. Today 12 left. I mean, you really can't go wrong with either view. That's a lot of baseball fields we just flew over. Much better versus the one that we had in much better versus the one we had in where were we? Duluth. Much better. I wonder if that's the actual control tower, or if that's the old control tower and they have a new one. There's 1,000 footers. Didn't float it out nearly as much, but didn't like get that sinker like we did in Duluth, how we got just felt like we got a sinker. Let's see. Where's Minneapolis? There it is. That's what you want right there. All right. Still a little bit of sinker, but because I took the power out a little bit later, I took the power out right about there. And then just kind of let it settle onto the runway. So still, I gotta hold off on taking that power out. Let's see. Let's put this right back at the touchdown, right there. Excellent. Sweet. All right. So we'll rewind that on back. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe, yeah. Maybe that's the height I want to be at. All right. Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Again, I will take that landing any day of the week. Alrighty, don't need to do all of that. Just need to resync that. Excellent. And we'll bring it back one more time, shall we? There we go. We'll let it rip from there. Like I said, thanks for joining me on Tuner Burn Tuesday. Really do appreciate everyone who came out to support the channel. Dummy Thick, Draco, Langimax Racing, of course. Thank you. Cyber, really do appreciate you coming out and showing the stream a little bit of love on Tuner Burn Tuesday. Really do appreciate you taking your time out of your evening to chill, spend a little time with Grey Eagle. I really do appreciate it. I'll be back more than likely next Monday. So this coming Monday is probably when I will be back streaming again. I have a few days off, so expect another 2 or 3 streams at that time. So we'll definitely get one long stream in, about a 1.5-ish, 2-hour stream in, and then of course we'll be back again for another Turn and Burn Tuesday. But until I see you all again at the very next stream, remember to please take care of yourselves and each other. Until then, I'm Grey Eagle. Peace.